This night was a huge reality check. In this episode, I want to talk about the time that I completely ate shit performing. They will not vibe with you just because you have good songs. You have to bring them energy. You have to give them all of the energy that you have. If you don't have any, then don't perform. That's what I learned this night. Today we're gonna have a little fun, all right? Happy Thanksgiving. This is a special episode. Literally the day before Thanksgiving. In TCM right now. Just got out of class. But in this episode, I want to talk about about the time that I completely ate shit performing. It was a recent time, and it stands out because I take pride in being a good performer, all right? When I first started out, actually going outside and doing my thing and performing in front of people, it was probably about 3 years ago. During that time, I literally spent weeks and weeks, months and months going to open mics several days out of the week, like at least twice a week, every week religiously, and practicing. I did that for 2 years, right? So now, after doing that, eventually I got better. It took a lot of practice. I'm not one of those people. I'm not special. I don't have any special abilities. I know some people are naturally good at performing or naturally good at everything. That's not me at all. I am regular as fuck. I just had to do it a million times just to get decent at it. And then eventually at a point where I felt like I was good. I'm starting to get booked for shows. Fast forward 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm getting booked for shows. People are reaching out to me to perform. I'm like, yeah. And every single time I try to show up, right? In my head, I'm a good performer, so I try to show up and be a good performer. Now, so in this whole game and being an artist, you're going to experience levels. So the first level was me, the bottom level, I guess, was me literally can't perform for my life, right? That's where I started. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not confident. I don't feel comfortable in myself. Terrible at performing, all right? That's where I started, just being honest. And then after doing open mics several days a week for months, years even, for about a year, I finally got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm decent. I'm actually kind of confident. I'm a little bit more confident, And then eventually, I hit that level where it's like, whatever stage, anytime I can hit it, I can do a really good job. I don't need to practice anymore because I'm just good now. I've already practiced, you know what I mean? Wrong. Totally fucking wrong. So basically what happened, I got a little bit too confident in the fact that I can perform. I know how to perform now. Are you kidding me? I did all those open mics. I've been performing every week, basically, several times a month at shows that people pay me to do. I'm good. I'm like, all right, I'm good. This night, though, was a very, very special night. So I'm out with my girlfriend, and my friends are there. I'm supposed to perform at this bar called and it's a really cool place. I'm vibing. People are going on. I'm watching them. I'm like, yeah, that's really good. This is good. Waiting. I perform way later than I was supposed to, or than I thought I was going to. Happens, right? It happens all the time. Unless you're a headliner, it's going to happen to you. You're going to be waiting around for way longer than you really should just to get your chance to perform 3 songs. You know what I mean? It just happens. That's where we are, right? And so whatever. But in my head, I'm like, I know how to do this. I don't need to visualize it anymore because, usually I will visualize what I'm going to do on stage before I actually get on it. I'll visualize, the energy that I'm going to have. I'll visualize the energy that I want to give to the crowd and the reaction that the crowd's going to give me. I'll visualize all of that stuff. So even before I get on the stage, I'll see all of it in my head, and then I'll get on. That's worked for me great. 100, tons of performances, right? I mean, performing all the time. I do this every single time. This night, I was so confident that I didn't even do that. Second mistake. I didn't visualize my performance. All right, the first one. The second mistake that I made, I didn't even know what songs I was going to perform until I got on the stage. Now, like I said, after performing so much, I have a little bit of confidence in myself. So I usually do this. I usually won't pick the song that I'm going to even do until the very last minute. And I'm like, whatever. I can do that now, right? I'm going next door. Like, you know what I mean? I'm good. I'm good. No. This night was a huge reality check. Not knowing what songs I was going to perform until I hit the stage and I'm literally picking them live in front of the crowd completely already throws the energy off. It's already not smooth. Starting off on a terrible place. Terrible. So, that's the second mistake I made. I'd say the third mistake I made was kind of what I've talked about, was just being way too confident after performing what I felt like was a ton of times. Really, for the top performers, for the best of the best of the best, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, who I feel are like literally the best performers on earth, really not that much. When you think about these people, they perform probably every day, or at least multiple times a week. Not to anybody, except for their family or friends or whatever. By themselves, practice exactly what they're going to do. They practice exactly what moves they're going to make, what steps they're going to make, what they're going to say in between songs. Like, what's obviously they know, they have a set of what songs they're going to do. All of this completely, like, flew past my head. Like, I was so confident in what I could do. My little self got way too big for my britches and ate complete shit. I mean, I got on the stage. It's like 1:30 in the morning. There's probably like 10 people left in the bar. And I'm just like, whatever. You know, they're gonna mess with me just because the songs are good. You know what I mean? The music is good. They're just gonna mess with me. Absolutely not. Like, my energy was trash. Something was off. My energy was off. I look into the crowd. The first song I do is like a slow R&B song. It's 1:30, mind you, it's 1:30 in the morning. There's 10 people left in the bar. And looking back at it, I would not start off slow when it's 1:30 in the morning and people are barely staying awake in the first place. What am I thinking? I don't know. Okay, I'm like, yeah, I usually ramp up, blah, blah, blah. You know, I like to start slow and then get to the faster songs. No. Okay? Every show is different. I learned to myself, you have to treat every show like it's a different show. There's different people. It's a different vibe, a different setting. Treat it like a brand new show. All right? So if usually you start off with a slow song and ramp up to the faster ones, that could be a great method if it's 9 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? And people are still awake. When it's 1:30, you might have to change that and start off with the faster songs because people are falling the fuck asleep already. God damn, right? So, so I'm performing. I start off with a slow song. Bad fucking idea. Right? Terrible idea. And I look into the crowd. Nobody's moving. Literally, nobody's really moving for real. You know, I'm already like, fuck. Picking the songs as I'm on the stage. Like, it's terrible. It's ass. I ate complete shit this night. And, all right. So I'm like, okay. All right, I'll do the next song. My energy is so low because I'm basically expecting people to mess with me just because my songs are good. That's not how performing works, okay? They will not mess with you. They will not vibe with you just because you have good songs. You have to bring them energy. You have to give them all of the energy that you have. If you don't have any, then don't perform, right? That's what I learned this night, that I ate shit. Because I gave the crowd no energy, so they had no energy to give back, and it was just so awkward and terrible and just shitty. And the worst part is, My friends are here. My girlfriend's here watching me. She comes to almost every performance. Usually she's going crazy in the front. This time, she's just looking at me like, Sonya, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself. So, after that night, I learned that no matter how good of a performer you think you are, even if you perform every week, right? If you perform several times a month, you can never have enough practice. You should still feel like you need to practice. Do not get overconfident. Do not feel like, oh, I've done this before. Do not feel like, oh, I've seen these people before. Oh, I've been here before. Any of that. Like, it's so easy to get overly confident in yourself when you feel like you have performed several times, especially if it's around the same people or whatever it is, right? Do not get too comfortable, okay? Like, you should never feel like you don't have to practice, because even Beyonce practices. Even Michael Jackson, rest in peace, practiced, right? Every day. He never felt, even after he's been performing since he was a little jit. Since he was like 6 or whatever, right? And even he still had to practice. So I don't know what the fuck I was thinking that I didn't have to practice performing in order to like give a good performance every single time consistently. But that night that I ate shit, I learned my lesson that no matter how many times, how down you think you have performing, or you have your set, or how confident you are in that you're a good performer, you still have to practice. You still have to practice, Sonya. Okay? Like, do not get too big for your britches. You will eat shit and embarrass yourself and learn. But it was a learning experience, because the next day, I felt like shit. Because I'm like, my whole bubble got bursted, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, maybe I do need to practice. Maybe I should keep going to these open mics several times a week like I was. And it was just like, you know, that's when I learned that I have to set the camera up at home. I got to set up the karaoke machine and practice in my living room to one person as if it was a whole crowd of people, a whole stadium of people, so I can get down exactly what I'm going to do and give a consistently amazing performance that people will tell everyone about every single time. I have to practice. That's what I learned. And when you're practicing, practice makes perfect, but some people say that perfect practice makes perfect. So what I did, oh yeah, I probably do need that.
Do you want me to get it for you?
Yeah. Saw, dude. Just podcasting. Nah, but basically, what I did was I went home, I set up the camera, I picked out, you're good, yeah. I picked out exactly what songs I was gonna perform. I figured out what I'm gonna say transitioning between songs, like if there was a story behind it or something like that. And, like what crowd interactions I was gonna have. I pre-planned all of that stuff. I had never put together a real set before, until I learned this, right? So I know what songs I'm gonna perform. I know how I'm gonna perform them, what I'm gonna say in between, what I'm gonna say to introduce myself, what I'm gonna say after. Like, I had to get my shit together. Thank you. All right, but I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go talk to my friends right now, but hopefully you learned some shit from this. I took a major fucking L, and I just want to spread my L's so you don't make the same L's, you know what I mean? Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Bye. All right, and just a little bonus tip. When you do record yourself and watch the videos back of your sets that you're practicing, try to rehearse 2 sets so you have 2 of them ready, so you're not doing the exact same one every single time. And then my plan is as I get good at those and get comfortable with the 2, I can start adding more variations of the sets and things like that. And then the second tip I'm gonna leave you guys with is that when you are doing this and when you are performing usually I would do this in front of one person that you really trust to be honest with you and to actually give you good feedback. Hopefully they are either a performer themselves or have some type of knowledge about what a good performance should look like or should be like or feel like. And then really the biggest thing is just that they're honest with you about how you did, because it's not going to help if you're sitting there with someone that tells you that everything's good, like that you're great and everything's great, because then you won't know what to work on. You won't know what's actually bad when you go in front of an audience, and you won't know what you need to change. So make sure you perform in front of someone that's actually going to be honest with you when you're practicing, because those critiques will literally make the difference between eating fucking shit and not eating fucking shit. So, okay, bye again.